call this meeting to order with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And prayer, Philip.
Heavenly Father, we just come before you tonight and thank you for the opportunity to be together and experience the life and health that we have. And I just lift up these council members to you. Thank you for their service and their heart of wanting to lead in this community. We ask tonight that you would give them wisdom and be with their families and bless them, protect them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
Mayor Taylor?
Present.
Councilor Boland?
Present.
Councilor Berger?
Here.
Councilor Crompton?
Present.
Councilor Cope?
Here.
Councilor Schaefer?
Here.
And Councilor Zimmerman? Roll call is complete, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome everybody to meeting 1698 on April 6th, Libby City Council meeting. I don't have any announcements this time. Does council have any announcements? Perfect. We'll move on to approved minutes for council meeting 1697, March 16th. Has everyone had a chance to review these? Any council comments?
There is one correction here. When it says approved minutes for regular council meeting 16. Oh, never mind. I made a mistake. That's correct.
Thank you. Any other corrections? Seeing none, we'll move on to any public comments on the minutes. No public comments? None online? Let's see here. I would call for a motion.
Motion to approve minutes 1697.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Erica?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, aye.
Gotcha. All those opposed? Motion carries. We approve the minutes. Moves us on to department head reports, city administrator report.
Okay, so the lower reservoir is holding up well to the current runoff levels. We hope to have an RFQ out this week for geotechnical and dam certified engineers that will design the repair and replacement of the northern wall of the lower reservoir. We're looking somewhere around $2.6 to $2.8 million to return the lower reservoir to the same functional capacity as before. Biggest thing we're dealing with currently concerning disasters, the funding options. Option one, if the president signs disaster recover declaration, we will get reimbursement for the emergency protective measures and the repair and replacement of the northern wall at the lower reservoir. But there's over 25 disaster recovery declarations currently sitting on his desk, so the chances of getting reimbursed are unknown at this point. Option two, to work more in what we know. We're working with the Montana DES to request emergency funding and may be able to get reimbursement for the $918,000 that we have spent currently on emergency protective measures at the lower reservoir, and hopefully receive another $500,000 later on. The state puts between $13 to $14 million a year in the emergency fund, but there are more emergencies than funding, so the state is careful to make sure that the money can help as many communities as possible. The state would not receive reimbursement if DR is signed. Third approach, we will be having a joint meeting with the USDA RD and Montana DES coming up within the next few weeks to discuss funding options for repair and replacement of the northern wall. We hope that the USDA can cover up to $500,000 in a grant using Montana DES funding as a match when the repair and replacement begins. Another note, here a few weeks ago, I applied to represent Zinke's office for a $2.5 million grant from community project funds for repairs to the water filtration tanks at the water treatment plant. We received a call last week to tell us that the project has been selected and is moving forward to the House Appropriations Committee for funding. They did say don't get too excited yet. Usually the request, they kind of get a haircut, but any funds are better than no funds. So in the next few months we'll know what we come up with the total on that. On the sewer side of things, the sewer PR is going well and should be finished within the next 30 days. Our city engineer is currently trying to locate rental flow meters for the sewer mains that do not require sewer personnel to do confined space entry into the manholes, so we can get a more accurate picture of what sewer flow rates are in certain areas. And then this will also help us identify which future mains replace, take priorities of others. We've also received an extension from the NRDP and will be going out for bids to turn the spoils pile up at the upper reservoir into a parking lot as approved by the City Council. The bid documents will state that if the bids come in over the amount left in the NRDP grant, that the project will not be awarded unless additional funds become available. So that's just something you guys need to pay attention to as we move forward with that. Phase 2 of the Spruce Street reconstruction is complete with the exception of a lengthy list of discrepancies, and the city is now working with the contractor to make the corrections. And one more thing. Spent a few days looking through House bills and Senate bills that were passed last session. Of note, House Bill 629 may significantly increase the City of Libby's role in determining when subdivisions located within 500 to 1,000 feet of municipal water and sewer infrastructure must connect to city services, while also addressing the county's ability to waive those requirements. Currently, the way the county has it's structured, if you are more than 500 feet away from a sewer main and it's 2 times or 3 times, I have to look that up, more costly to hook up to the main, you're allowed to hook up to, you basically install a septic with a subdivision. With House Bill 629 passing, that is no longer an option. Basically, they bumped that out from 500 to 1,000 feet, and you have to hook up if you're putting in subdivision. House Bill 492 is basically just an update to local parking related zoning provisions, and that has to go into effect before October 1st of 2026. That House bill basically states that the city itself can no longer require multiple parking spaces for single family dwelling to be on the property. We can only go 1 required space. The intent there is to basically create denser, more space for buildings, less space for parking on the property itself. House Bill 38 strengthens penalties and enforcement tools for misuse of accessible parking, formerly known as handicap parking. Currently, our ordinance states it's a $100 fine if you're parking in a handicap spot. The House Bill 38 changes that to $150, and for the first offense to $250 for the second offense. The other one is House Bill 819, places new restriction on flags and banners displayed on government property. Basically, it narrows down what can be displayed at any federal or governmental building. No real major change there. And then the only other one that really was kind of a note was SB 243, and it had to do with building heights. That one, fortunately, does not apply to Libby because it focuses on populations of cities with more than 5,000 people at this point. So that concludes my update.
Perfect. Thanks, sir. Streets report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. So month of March we got the workforce banners hung up on Mineral in California. That was a joint effort between Montana Sky and the Libby Street Department crew. Cemetery openings for March, we had 2 full, 5 cremains. We had 2 service line repairs, one of which was had a lead gooseneck, so that was removed. The water line that we started over in Farmers Park Campground, that has been finished up. We placed 2 new valves with that. We shortened 18 signpost bases, so we noticed that a lot of our signage downtown on downtown corridor, the breakaway was sticking above the ground, you know, anywhere from 12, 16, 18 inches. So you want it closer to the ground, so when the sign does get hit, it will break off the way it's supposed to. So we cut those down. Lots of sweeping, jetting, patching potholes. We had 2 sidewalk replacements on Louisiana near Larch. We had one of them was a total of 150 feet, and that included an ADA ramp, and the other side was 200 feet total with an ADA ramp. We had some windstorm cleanup due to downed trees around town, 6 total trees. We had 66 hours involved with that. We had 1 hazardous tree removal on Main. We had 1 stop sign repair over here at Empire Foods parking lot. It's a prime target for people. They like to run it over. So we replaced that, placed 2 small Icona blocks around to kind of protect that from being damaged further. Friday the 13th, we were called out at 8 p.m. due to a contractor. This was right after the windstorm. We had a lot of down comm poles and power poles. So we were called out at 8 p.m. They ended up augering through a water service line. So we ended up out, replaced that section of service line, ended up going back to the main, replaced the curb stop. We wrapped it up at 3 a.m. Saturday morning. Fireman's Park Campground inspection has been completed for the year. We replaced the teeter-totter with all new boards and attachment hardware, and we rebuilt and painted all the picnic tables under both pavilions. We've had some shop maintenance, just, you know, looking at the shop doors. Every year we look at them, tighten things up, make sure things aren't skewed, its alignment, etc. Worked the lower reservoir Friday night the 20th. Mr. Beach and myself made our way up there. The new access road around sedimentation basin had sloughed in trees. We ended up doing tree removal and cleanup with that. We also had some high water. There were some concerns about it maybe topping the temporary cofferdam. So we had some conversations. Noble came up. They got in over, pulled out some of these combo blocks that we had wrapped in a liner to help hold back water. So we removed them. The water resided, what, 8-10 inches?
Yeah, about that.
So we had to lessen our concern of it overtopping the temporary cofferdam. Cabin Heights Road, just like last month, we know it's in bad shape. We're ongoing repairs. Also met with Mr. Beach and the golf club board members for ongoing water issues at Cabin Heights and Country Club Road, that intersection at T. That's been an eyesore and a problem for a long period of time, so there's a plan to mitigate that. We've identified the problem with 2 property owners and kind of have a path moving forward with that. 1 sewer manhole to repair at Rosars. We had 4 safety meetings for the month of March. Unsafe working conditions, trailer towing, accident and hazard reporting, and motorcycle awareness. It's that time of year. We also mitigated 2 DEQ discoveries for outfalls to our waterways. So we built some sediment sumps and placed silt fence on the downhill side to capture sediment before it reaches the waterway. And we had 1 employee was out 2 weeks for surgery and recovery, and he was released back to work with no restrictions. Any questions?
Also, any questions? Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Police report.
Mr. Mayor and Council.
For the month of March, 4 police officers have handled a total of 250 calls for service and officer-initiated activity. This includes 62 traffic stops, approximately 13 arrests for various crimes. The biggest one we received was, again, 62 traffic stops, which 8 traffic citations were issued for hazardous moving violations. We also conducted 13 business and walkthrough checks. And this is about the same as it was for the month of February, so they're about even, except in February we had 5. This month we only had 4 officers. Several months ago, Libby Police Department applied for a grant through the Montana Emergency Tourism Assistance Program grant. Last week we learned that we were awarded $50,000 towards the purchase of a brand new patrol car. Once those funds are available, they will contact us, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So they'll give us $50,000 towards the purchase of a new patrol car. Also, we had to replace the tires on unit 24.5. All 4 tires were below the 3/32 mark, so we had to replace all 4 at a cost of $1,342. We've also started code enforcement on a residence in the 700 block of Minnesota, several trailers in the 1500 block of California, one in the 800 block of Croto, one in the 100 block of Larch. This is all for miscellaneous debris, disabled vehicles, abandoned vehicles, etc. And that's about all I had for this period. So.
Perfect. Sounds like you're busy, and thank you for the information on the patrol car. The chief put in for one of those last year. We got that grant last year also, and that's where the Charger came from. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Clerk Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I do have a few things here. I received this last week a email from our auditor's office, which I was hoping they would get to it earlier, but they're just now getting our audit started. So I'm hoping to hear back from them in the next couple of months. So, and as soon as I do, I'll let everybody know, and I'll get that posted online when that comes out. And still gathering information for the budget. I was talking to Sam. We were planning on maybe this next week, but it looks like I was looking at the timeline from last year, and it'll be closer to the end of the month that we'll have our first budget meeting. By then I should have most of the numbers together that we're going to need at least for that first meeting. And Sam had mentioned before the workers' comp. MMIA is, they're no longer going to have their program. They're ending their program. And so I've been reaching out to get quotes, and they're supposed to be getting back to me about mid-April, they said, so that I can get some quotes to council so we can go from there. And that's what I have.
Perfect. Thank you. Committee reports. I believe the only one we have is a light street sidewalk report. You have something on the agenda for later? Anything else?
No, we have stuff on the agenda.
Perfect. And the tree board had a report that did not make it on the agenda.
Yeah, just we're going to have a meeting this Wednesday at 4:15 p.m. in the council chambers. This Saturday, April 11th at 10 a.m. we're looking for volunteers to do a pruning workshop. Just going around the city, checking out the conditions of trees because it's already too warm to actually prune them. And then April 24th is Arbor Day. We will be having a celebration and a tree planting at Fireman's Park at 3 p.m. We'll be giving away free tree saplings and having educational activities for people. And that's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other outstanding committees I missed? We're good. Public comment on non-agenda items. This is the opportunity for the public to offer comments related to issues that are not currently on the agenda that the council has jurisdiction over. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My concern was the water bill.
Okay. Can you state your name and address, please, sir?
Kyle Henderson. Address is 121 West Cedar Street.
Okay.
I guess it was due over like when we had the boil order. I was gone for 3 weeks out of the month on business, work. When I came back, I'm like, oh, my bill should be, a little less than what it was. When I received it, I have the bill right here. I was a little shocked. So it would have been on the due date of 3/6 of 2026. My usage was 500 gallons, 500 gallons only. And we were under a boil order, so I was buying water at Rose Arts. And I'm a single guy. don't shower that long, one load of laundry. But my bill was $110.63. That's what it fluctuates at. My concern is, from that date until now, if I were to take 500 gallons every week and put it in a tank and then take it down to the Kootenai and go dump it in the water, how can you guys get me on sewer? How is that calculated? How is that managed? You know, there's no meter on the sewer, is there?
Well, it's in and out.
It's in and out. So you guys, what's the math on that?
I don't know. If you want to come in and speak to Sam Sykes, our city administrator, he can break those charges down for you. He's not here today.
Your name says Sam Sykes right there.
Yeah, he's not here today. He had something else he had to do this evening.
So, I mean, that's my biggest concern. And I know we're trying to be proactive, but it seems like it's been a knee-jerk ever since, you know, our big flooding with the dam and everything. And I know our water bill has gone up, in the past 2 years for infrastructure. And I'm glad I was able to catch this meeting. And it's my fault for not being here to stay more up with the city about what's going on. And so it's nice to hear that stuff's getting fixed, because that could have been catastrophic. It would have ran down all the way to the river.
Yes, sir.
The main river. So my concern is the water is way too high. I want to see lower water prices, because I want to see people being able to water their lawn without seeing a bunch of burn places. Because I'm originally from Rexford, so I'm from the area, and I want to see Libby nicer.
Gotcha.
And you know, the prices are outrageous, and the sewer, I don't know how you figure that out. So something needs to be changed on the bill, because 500 gallons, and then I have another bill. So this bill is $110.63, 500 gallons. This bill is $110.28 at 1,400. Sorry.
No, you're fine, sir.
But the kicker is on the state fee. I had a state fee on this bill when I was gone.
Yes.
So, but
that's an annual one-time charge every year.
Okay.
The state fee is.
But that's my concern. So if at some point we need to go hash it out in your office, I'm more than willing.
There.
Thanks, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Any other public comments? No other public comments? Nobody online? We'll move on to new business then. Chamber of Commerce update on the Montana Tourism Development Grant. Mr. Vincent.
Good afternoon or evening, council members and mayor. Bruce Vincent, 34 Paul Bunyan Lane. I'm here to give a great update on an effort that the city and the chamber and others have been involved in for the last year. We've worked on Montana Tourism Grant Program grant. A reminder of the process, how we got to where we're at. A year ago, we decided that we wanted to entertain giving a grant application into the state. So we started speaking with stakeholders, including the city and other stakeholders, and then began convening a series of public meetings and forming an advisory council or an advisory group that ultimately included 10 or 15 stakeholders from the area, including Mineral Avenue businesses, other businesses, event coordinators like the Rodeo Group, the Heritage Museum, the city, and the county. And at each one of those gatherings, we entertained ideas for projects that would improve our infrastructure, not just for the tourism season, but what would improve our infrastructure for the other 9 months we live here. I kind of liken it to, I'm currently getting ready for all the relatives that are going to be coming in this summer. So I'm doing my yard work and we're updating some of the things in our house, and that's kind of how we looked at it. What would benefit both the tourism trade and the infrastructure that we live with year round. So about 15 or 20 different project ideas boiled to the surface. We made a list of those, and then those that were the stakeholders that were working in the advisory capacity scored them. The chamber, by the way, did not score. It was scored by the people that had been involved in the discussion from the beginning. And those that were highest, we All the projects had merit, but we could only pick a few to work into this grant. So the highest scoring then became the body of the grant. And Miranda, the chamber manager, and Jackie, they worked on the grant application for months. And they still have hair. It's awesome. The projects that boiled to the surface, and I believe you've got a copy of the grant application that was emailed to you. The project that boiled to the surface, the city ought to be pleased, because one of the meetings that we had for public outreach was at the same time as the WGM rollout of the Mineral Avenue improvement plan. And the projects that scored highest included many of the phases in that plan. Things like sidewalk improvements, ADA requirements, lighting and irrigation improvements, pedestrian safety upgrades, those things that the WGM had indicated were important for improving the downtown area of our community. And I want to again stress, this is for us. I know it's called a tourism grant, but we live here 12 months out of the year. And everyone that was involved in this was focusing on what can we do locally to improve our presentation when we do have our relatives from Seattle come in, but also improves our ability to live here and enjoy the community of Libby. The other high-scoring project was the visitor center improvements. We haven't improved the visitor center since I was on the board 40 years ago when we built the sucker, right? It needs some help. So those two things provide the basis for the grant, and they worked on it, sent it in December, and we have now found out, as you've probably heard, that we were awarded the grant. The first phase of the grant is $1.25 million. We have a work plan identified for what needs to happen in the first couple of years. The first year is going to be planning. So we've given a framework for some ideas of what we think projects ought to be. Now we'll spend a year working with the partners, including the city and WGM, and figuring out how we can phase those projects so that it has a minimal disruption to our use and the businesses on that end of Mineral Avenue. There will be, in year 2, there may be some implementation possibilities, but we'll do the timing and the planning in year 1. There's a meeting that's going to be held in Missoula on June 9th with the Chamber and the Department of Commerce to go over the framework, how do we structure so that we can move forward on year 1 and year 2. At the conclusion of year 1 and year 2, when we finalize the plans, we get all the design in, we decide how we're going to phase that. At the end of that, the state will review our process. They'll be monitoring the entire time. They are the monitoring agency. They'll be monitoring, and at the end of the 2 years, if we have performed as required in our grant, then there's another $1.5 million available to complete the process. So it's a pretty exciting thing for our town. It's exciting for those of us that live here year-round. I don't live in town, but I use Mineral Avenue a lot. And so I think the upgrades that the city has identified through your consultant and the upgrades that were identified by the community members that engaged in this process, I think we've yielded some projects that will give us a presentation of downtown like we haven't had for a long time. So I'd like to thank you for your support of the project. We were here in January when we were getting it all sent in and approved, so thank you, City of Libby, for your support in the project. Thank you for the work that you've done through WGM. That was not intended to provide everything we needed in the grant, but it provided a great deal to give us a foot up on the others in the state that were applying for this same money. I'd also like to point out that since the press release went out, there are a lot of folks that are calling the chamber or me and asking, how do we get some of the money? The projects that are identified in the grant are the ones that are going to move forward with this grant, and that says nothing about the merit of the other ideas that came forward. Those other ideas may have other funding opportunities, so we encourage everybody in town to keep thinking, how could we make our community better, come up with ideas, and we can all talk about how there may be other money streams. This one's already in bed. This one, we have a plan. But there are a number of good community ideas floating around here that may have funding opportunities that we can, together, we can seek out and find. So that's it. Anybody have any questions?
Council have any questions? Public have any questions? Thank you very much for all the hard work. You ladies, we appreciate everything also.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. I know you guys worked really hard.
So next on the agenda, we have the VFW flag program request to have flags up Memorial Day through Labor Day. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Council, thanks for letting me appear before you. The words have changed a little bit since then, and I'll elaborate. The VFW is looking to fly flags on Mineral Avenue and California Avenue, done for years. I'm new to the VFW here, so I've decided to take the flag program on, so please excuse my ignorance here. But I hear it fell by the wayside, and I'm trying to bring it back, okay? So we want to fly the flags starting on the 25th of May through the 12th of November, through Veterans Day. Well, we don't have enough staff to keep picking up and taking down flags all the time. There's not enough active members within our organization at this moment, okay? So we're looking to fly it from 25 May to 12 November. To keep everything within the city limits of Libby, I went to Flathead Electric, and they have no issues with us putting holders on all of their light posts, so we can have the flags up 24 hours because they'll have light in the evening. Working with the Montana Department of Transportation, a guy by the name of Jesse Gascon. Sam Sykes told me about that gentleman, not you, but Sam. And I had to apply for an encroachment application to the 5 flags on Highway 2 and Highway 37, and I'm also asking for permission to put flags on the newly named Randall Bridge as well. I think it would look cool out there. The VFW will take full responsibility for the upkeep and maintenance of all these flags. If we see some broken, torn, whatever, we'll go out there and we'll replace them or fix them or whatever it requires. This program has been going on in Libby for some years, from what I understand. So we're looking for approval to do it again this year. And do we have to come back every year and ask for approval, or can it be good for a certain amount of time, like every 5 years, come back and re-engage and make sure everything's still going okay? I'm asking that question. And we're asking for permission now because we're short on time. So we're just waiting on the Montana Department of Transportation to get back to us, and once they say we're good to go, we'd like to proceed.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Do you have any questions, anybody?
Council have any questions? No questions. Does council have any recommendations on how long of term you would be interested in approving this for?
I think what is laid out is fine.
What's that?
I think what he's laid out is fine.
Well, I mean, do you want to do it for 1 year, 5 years,
Oh.
10 years, 2 years, 3 years?
5 years?
I would recommend, since all of our terms are 4 years,
Oh, there we
so
go.
as to not encroach on future members' decision-making processes. I'll let them. Perfect. Agree with that.
Any other council discussion? Any public comment? Any public comment? Perfect. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the VFW flag program from Memorial Day through Labor Day for the next 4 years.
Second.
The Veterans Day.
The 12th of November.
12th of November.
Perfect. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir, and thank you for all the hard work, and we appreciate the effort and our patriotic outpour.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have approved Light Streets and Sidewalk Committee recommendation. Mr. Berger, would you like to fill us in on that, please?
You're skipping one there.
Yeah, it's not my turn yet.
Oh, I did, I'm sorry. Put a check mark too many lines down, I apologize. About approved submittal of readiness information form to MDOT for a street sweeper grant.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. Last Friday, March 20, well, actually 2 weeks ago, March 27th, we received an invitation from MDT to apply for a grant opportunity for a replacement street sweeper. The downfall was the application was due Friday, as in April 3rd last week. Because of the short timeline, I moved quickly to coordinate internally and completed the application. I spoke with the mayor, city administrator, and the street supervisor, and we do have funds available for the required match. In the application, I also noted that the match funding is available, but it does require internal approval, so that way we could meet the deadline. So tonight, I'm asking for the council approval of the match so we can fully move forward if we are selected for the grant. This request is for a 2018 Schwartz A7 Tornado Regenerative Air Sweeper to replace our current 1994 Elgin sweeper. Due to its age, the current unit provides subpar air filtration and experiences frequent breakdowns. It's got a lot of electrical issues and mechanical issues, which places a definite strain on our maintenance staff and our budget. The replacement would be a major upgrade for the streets department and would also support Libby's air quality efforts to maintain PM10 and PM 2.5 standards. Just for comparison, a new unit is approximately $400,000. This unit would come in at a total price of $104,737. It's a 2018 with roughly 10,000 miles and 1,500 hours. Of that $104,737, our local match through this grant is only 13.42%, which is roughly $14,053.79. The rest of that would be covered by the CMAQ MACI program. Speaking with that program, we should know more by early next week if we are selected. MDT is working on a super fast timeline because they want to get these out before summer, essentially. And the purchase orders are due by June 30th. So I thank you for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that new unit if you have any.
Perfect, thanks, sir. Does the council have any questions?
Yeah, where does the local match come out of?
So local match, we have a couple of different options. We have the gas fund, which allows you to buy equipment. We also have CIP in water and sewer and streets. So it's not it's not draining any one account or anything like that. So.
Thank you.
Any other council questions?
This price here, does that include shipping the unit to us?
Yeah.
Or is that going to be another cost?
Nope. I basically made it all inclusive. I talked to a couple of different sales teams and stuff like that. That is shipped to our location with 1 day of complimentary training at that point. So.
Any other council questions? Any public comment? Any public comment? Public comment around? I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the, where are we at? Purchase of this new street sweeper.
Second.
Any other council discussion? I'll call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir, for applying for that for us. That moves us on to approve Light Streets and Sidewalks Committee recommendation.
Now we're ready. So streets, Light Streets and Sidewalks Committee met on March 18th. We are submitting for recommendations to City Council for the sidewalk program annual contract bidding. So we discussed putting it out to bid so that there was one contractor for the city sidewalks program to ensure that all the bids are competitive and protect property owners from maybe a little bit of a discrepancies in pricing and everything, kind of bring it all in line so that everybody is getting the same fair price. To stretch, we want to make sure that the sidewalk program money stretches as far as it can. So we're recommending the authorization of annual sidewalk program to be put out to bid on a yearly basis, and that vote was unanimous. Let me keep going on the second
Yes,
one?
please.
Okay. The second one is the speed limit and pedestrian crossing signage for Spruce Street. Came to our attention that there's no signage there for people walking back and forth and people going a little bit fast. So the committee reviewed the traffic and safety control is needed along Spruce Street. We recommend for authorization pedestrian crossing signs at two designated pedestrian crossings, putting the speed limit at 20 miles an hour between Highway 2 and the Port Gate, and no parking signs on the south side of Spruce Street from approximately the public restrooms to the end of the second court. That vote was also unanimous. Ta-da.
Thank you. Does the council have any questions or comments? So for those that aren't familiar, Spruce Street would be the street right behind us. With it being paved now, the traffic coming out of the Nomad, building is coming out here and coming down the highway now that the road is paved. So no other council questions, comments? Any public comments? Oh, yes, sir.
Jonathan Jameson, 1414 Utah Avenue. Hello. I walk here, and so the crosswalk across Highway 2 is on the opposite side where the sidewalk is. So it's it's a weird transition. So like when I'm crossing the street, there's no sidewalk right there, and then it's on the other side, so it just doesn't have a fluidity of walking. So maybe look at that.
Perfect. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's it. Thanks. Good job.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing no public comment online, I'll entertain a motion. Or did I get off there? Did I already call for a motion? No. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Light Street Sidewalks Committee recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you folks for your hard work on that. We move on to approve all claims received to date. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Is there any council comments on claims and payroll? Any public comments?
There was just one small typo with the payment to the county treasurer for criminal convictions. It says criminal convictions
Gotcha.
on the line. Other than that, I didn't see anything there.
We'll get that straightened out. Any public comment on payroll and claims? Seeing no public comment, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve all claims received to date.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moves us on to approve all business license applications received to date. Stout Construction and Summer Service, individual house chores, yard work, and errands.
Make a motion we approve all business license applications received to date.
Second.
Any council comments? Any public comment? No public comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All business licenses and applications are approved. Any unfinished business? No. Any general comments from the council? Everybody's quiet? Perfect. Well, then I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.